I'm pretty sure no one will watch this, but it's kind of cool. I didn't realize how difficult it was to go live. There was a lot of steps involved in this. So I was going to make a presentation on, is Tesla a bad investment in 2022? And yeah, let's get into it. So a lot of times people ask me like, hey man, like, why are you talking about Tesla so much? Do you not invest in anything else? And I see a lot of stuff going on in the news, especially right now with, oh, how do I do this? Let me add my face. No, this? No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Huh. How do I change it? So I have, man, I should have figured this out before I went live. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So a lot of people are asking, like, yo, like, why are you talking about Tesla so much? Are you an Elon fanboy? My friend actually said, dude, I feel like you're kind of in a cult. And I said, yeah, that's kind of a, that's a fair assessment. I do talk about Tesla a lot. But I made this presentation really to go over a couple of things and to explain to people why I think Tesla is a really good investment. Yeah, especially now in 2022 because the price is super low. So quick summary about me. I sold all my equities maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago and bought Tesla with it. So I'm pretty well invested into Tesla. It's actually one of my bullets I have for early retirement. And my goal in life is to not work. So I have a few bullets. I have a few bullets for early retirement. This is one of them. And if all goes well, I'll be able to retire early because of Tesla. I've been selling puts. And I've been recording that process on my YouTube channel. That's really just to make some income, and it's not really part of the retirement plan. And that has not been going well at all. So recently, so yeah. But in recent times, if you're investing in Tesla, you're probably aware of this. But Elon is trying to buy Twitter, and it's going nuts. And he's not doing a good job, kind of explaining what he's doing. I feel like he is not really doing a good job, like with how he looks publicly. I don't think he cares, but that's just the way he is. So I do wish he would. I do wish he never bought Twitter as a Tesla investor. I do wish he would stop tweeting about Twitter, and I wish he would kind of step out of the attention of the general people. But that is what it is. I mean, he's part of the reason why Tesla's so successful. So I mean, you can't really, if you're investing in Elon, you kind of get what you get. So, but yeah, I'm gonna talk about why I think Tesla is good investment. And if people say I'm an Elon fanboy, that's totally fine, which I'm definitely not. I could care less about Elon. I'm really into making this money. So I do think a lot of the media portrays Tesla very unfairly, and I'll kind of cover those things today. But why is Tesla a good investment? I think fundamentally, if you're going to invest in Tesla, you have to believe that electric vehicles are going to be sold more than ICE vehicles. Eventually, they're going to take over, and we're going to stop selling ICE vehicles, right, at some point. And the reason for this is because the cost of an electric vehicle to maintain is a lot cheaper. There's very little maintenance. You don't got to get your oil changed. And the big one is gas. So you don't pay for gas. So it's super cheap to drive an electric vehicle versus a gas vehicle, right? And the reason why people would buy a gas vehicle now is because it's probably cheaper to buy, right? But at some point, the cost for electric vehicle will be the same or lower than the ICE vehicle. At that point, people are going to stop buying ICE vehicles, right? Just for money purposes, all right? It is important to note that most of the money that's made by car manufacturers right now, legacy automotive car manufacturers, are from the ICE vehicles. All right. So fundamentally, the two reasons that I invest in Tesla are two things, right? It's the ability to scale. Their manufacturing power ability is amazing. So they're able to scale, grow very quickly. They're growing at 50% a year, and they're able to do so very profitably. Okay. They make a lot of money per car versus the industry average. And they're able to sell a lot more cars than other car companies. Well, let's say they're able to sell a lot more electric vehicles than other car companies. All right. So don't just believe me. I'll pull up a couple of charts here. And I pulled up this number here. I did look at a couple of other websites. I feel like this is relatively accurate. So the one thing that, if you can see this, you want to look at here is operating income. Operating income is the amount of money that the company makes after expenses of not just cost of goods, but also like operations, right? So like, employees, whatever, depreciation, whatever, research, all that stuff, right? So if you take a look at how much operating income Tesla makes, in Q3 they made 12 billion, and GM, Ford, Toyota, I put Honda in there too, most of them made less other than Toyota. Is that right? Yeah, I feel like yeah, so that's right. And if you take a look at Volkswagen, I couldn't get Volkswagen on the same chart for some reason, but their operating income, and they sell probably the most cars out of everyone. Operating income was 25 billion, 23 billion, so double that of Tesla. All right. But if you take like operating margin, so I go back to operating margin, they made 8%. All right. And then if I go to operating margin here, it's hard to see, but most recently, Tesla's at 16.5%. Everyone else is below 8%. Right. So the percentage of money that Tesla's keeping versus all these other car manufacturers is pretty drastic, right? This is why they get such a higher valuation than everybody else, right? And then they're actually making more money than these other car companies. And why is this significant? It's because they sell way less cars. They're selling like maybe, let's see, GM sold in 2021. GM sold 2 million cars, 2.5. So they're actually declining. They've went from 3 million all the way down to 2 million, right? Ford sold. Let's see, they sold 2021, they sold 2 million. So they're also declining as well. But they're making less profit than Tesla is when Tesla's selling less cars than them. I'm not sure what Volkswagen is doing. I don't actually have that number offhand. But yeah, so that's really important to note, right? People are saying, oh, why is Tesla worth more than the next 5 car companies combined in terms of market cap? It's because of this. It's because they just make so much more money per car they sell. It's not even in the same ballpark, right? They're making more money total by selling less cars. Imagine what they're going to be at when they start selling more cars. Okay, so those are the 2 reasons, right? And people talk about competition all the time. Hey, competition is coming. Yeah, I don't really see that happening because of the scale, right? Even if someone makes a much better car than the current what Tesla has, let's say that's possible, they can't make it at a cheap, they can't make it at a cost-effective price where they can compete with Tesla on cost, right? So yeah, I mean, that's just, I think those are actually facts, right? Their costs are just so much lower that allows them to do so many other things. And then another thing I hear all the time is like, hey, Tesla's losing market share. Yeah, and that is also true, and that's expected, right? If you sell, let's say you sell 100 cars this year, right? And then no one else will any cars, and then next year you sell 1,000 cars, and then someone comes in and sells 4 cars, then you've lost market share, right? That's just the way it works. The denominator is growing, right? It's going to happen. So when you see Tesla losing market share, don't get tricked by that because that's expected, right? The number you have to look at is Tesla growing at 50% of total car sales in the world as they were last year, right? Right around that number. Yeah, and then if you take a look at like total market share, Tesla only produces like 1 million cars out of it's like 80 million cars produced in the world. So they actually have a very, very small portion of the entire car market. And I think I can make the argument that Tesla competes with other ICE vehicles. It's not like they're not only competing with the EVs. All right. So then another thing that's going to be effective with having a really low cost is that if we do go into recession, which seems like we are, Tesla's going to be able to pull demand levers because they're going to be able to reduce costs. Reduce price, right? Because they have a low cost, they can reduce price and still make a profit. And because they're able to do this, they're going to be able to sell more cars, or at least keep up with car sales. Whereas all other car manufacturers don't have those levers to pull, right? I would probably, I don't know if they break this out or not, but I would be willing to bet they're probably not making much money on the EVs, right? If they're only making 8% with ICE vehicles, they're probably not making 8%, 7% on EVs. They're probably losing money on the EVs, right? Okay, so yeah, they have those to pull. Also, it's a really good car. Like if I come here and you take a look at survey, 92% of Tesla owners will buy Tesla again. 55% person there. So people that buy Teslas like them, right? People talk shit about Tesla a lot on the internet, but like people that actually own the cars, actually really like them. So that's part of the reason why the costs are low, because they don't have to spend money on advertising or marketing or anything like that. because people like the cars. It sells itself. So yeah. Oh yeah, and another thing is right now that okay, so like we go with Tesla PE ratio. I don't know if this Tesla ratio right now is like at 50. In March, it was 1,000. So, I mean, obviously 1,000 is pretty freaking high, but like 50 is pretty. I mean, that's a pretty good time to buy. I mean, that's a pretty low P ratio compared to what it was at before. And once again, this company is growing 50% a year. It's profitable, has no debt, and even if you don't factor into like really high margin things, like okay, yeah, if full self driving, which is the beta is already out for the public, but that once they recognize that revenue, that's an extra $10,000 per car in pure profit because they don't have to actually pay for anything, right? There's no cost, right? That's pure profit. So imagine what that's going to do with the P ratio if the stock prices stay the same. So yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you some information. I hope it makes sense. And yeah, so like none of this stuff I talked about really includes anything like FSD or the Tesla bot or anything like that. But yeah, I hope this makes sense. There's a very high level argument as to why Tesla is a good investment. Yeah, obviously things not going well. I've lost a bunch of money the last couple of months. But it's kind of like times like this where you can make your money. So like if you can buy Tesla shares right now, if you understand what's going on, you wait 5, 6, 7 years. I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that that's going to go up pretty significantly. Hope this video helps. I hope this stream worked. All right, I'm gonna go check it out and see if it actually worked. All right, talk to you soon.